Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are joined today by Julia Milzer, who is the Director of Media Relations for the CU Anschutz Campus. Good morning, Julia.
Good morning.
Hey, we're going to have a conversation about the conversation. It's something that's relatively new. You unveiled it a couple of weeks ago, but this, folks, is something that I think is going to help everyone in our department, especially researchers, those who are doing scholarly work, to get the word out about their work, its importance and its impact. And best of all, it will not only help you tell your story of your work and the importance and impact, but it will help you become a better communicator, which is awesome. And there's no charge for you. So that is excellent. So let me share my screen. We'll get started and we'll bring Julie in for a couple of things during the conversation about the conversation. I really like that. So we'll start the slideshow. So everybody, this is the conversation about the conversation. Tell your story, get noticed, advance your work. Now, what is the conversation exactly? I'm glad you asked. The Conversation is an independent nonprofit news organization. They work with digital and traditional media across the spectrum, both nationally, some probably internationally, and local news outlets to get the word out about your work. And the thing is that they work with you personally to make sure that your work and the story about your work will get noticed. This is how it works. They commission 8 to 1,000 words. They're pieces of current affairs, news research, topics of interest, stuff about what you're doing, the importance and the impact. Now, you'll work directly with the CU Anschutz media relations team to craft your pitch. Once you've come up with a pitch, then the team will actually pitch it to the conversation. Now, if it's accepted, this is the best part. If it's accepted, they make it so easy for you. You'll be assigned a person on the conversation team. They're journalists, they're seasoned, they know how to do this. They'll collaborate with you, they'll advise you, they'll edit, they'll provide support to you to craft that. Basically, it's kind of like an op-ed about your work to make sure that it will get the most eyes on it. And then they'll distribute it through the AP and through other sources. And Julia, can you tell us a little bit about, and I hadn't asked you about the pitch. What exactly is the pitch? What would make a good pitch? Just so people have an idea of how long this is, how much time they have to put into it.
Yeah, that is a great question. So the tip we got from the conversation is always think about how a general audience or a general reader would be impacted by the topic you're writing about. And the pitch form, as it's outlined right here, is really simple. So it's a 50-word limit in 1 or 2 sentences about what's your story, the significance, and that kind of goes to why is this important for a non-academic reader, and then other key points. And that's where you can kind of put some data in there. And once again, this doesn't have to be about, upcoming research that is publishing in a journal. It can be, but it also could be about an event happening or something significant that's happening in the news, like something that was recently published that did really well is a woman wrote about 11 things you can do to adjust to losing that hour of sleep when daylight saving time starts. So really simple to write, but that was picked up in AP News, Yahoo News, and really helped build this academic experts. It really built her ability to connect with reporters. And now reporters know that if they have any questions about sleep or daylight savings, etc., to go to her. So that's kind of one of those things that's interesting about this. It doesn't have to be about upcoming research. It can really get your name out there that you are the go-to expert about a specific topic.
And that's the beauty of it, right? I mean, we have people throughout the Department of Family Medicine who are working on projects that aren't like really deep in the weeds academic kind of research and or projects. They're about all kinds of things, community health, wraparound services to improve health outcomes. This is really interesting stuff. And this is a perfect venue for them to tell the story and become an expert in that field. I can't stress enough how excited I am about this. Can you tell us a little bit, Julia, about, you shared some statistics about how successful some people are with this?
Yes. So about 41% of authors who wrote for the conversation received a request for a radio interview or a print interview. And about that same stat, a little under 50% said their article resulted in other academic collaboration opportunities. Because the conversation distributes your piece so broadly, that other academic institutions that follow the conversation might reach out and say, hey, we've been looking for a partner who's an expert on X, Y, and Z. So almost 50% of people who wrote for the conversation have had that happen. Additionally, 27% of people saw an increase in citations of their scholarly articles.
Wow.
So it doesn't have to be what you're writing about, like I said, your scholarly article, but just having your name out there tied to a topic that you also might write an article about in the future or have written about in before will then have people researching you more and citing more.
Yeah, that's great. Can you tell me a little bit about, at least from your perspective, being a professional in pitching stories to the media and handling them from start to finish, how important is this exercise with you and the folks at the conversation for academic researchers work in scholarly areas to develop their own communication skills?
Yeah, that's really great. It's very unique that you'll be able to work with a really reputable editor or journalist that's not on your communications team, who's going to provide you feedback on how to talk, how to write about your research. So you get that one-on-one time with them. So not only what happens is when you are accepted, you will hop on the phone with one of their editors. They will go through the process and timeline. So it doesn't mean if you're accepted, you have to turn it around right away. They will go over timeline. If it's an evergreen story, it could happen in a few months. If it's tied to something like daylight savings, for example, because that just happened, that will have a tighter turnaround. So that opportunity to work with a editor that's not on your campus, who's really reputable, they all come from amazing journalist backgrounds, I think is a great opportunity.
Great. Thank you for that. Now, I want to let everyone know kind of the steps you have to go through here. So how to begin. Now, if you're interested in pitching an idea to the conversation, you want to work directly with the CU Anschutz Media Relations team, Julia. You can contact them there at the email address. I will have this all posted for you to watch on demand again in the DFM intranet. Now, if you want more about the conversation, there is a web page and it's right there for you as well. And do me a favor, as the communications person in the Department of Family Medicine, just let me know. Keep me in the loop that you're pursuing this, because I want to hear about it. And more importantly, I want to be able to follow to make sure that if your story about your research or whatever you pitch to the conversation actually ends up being picked up and distributed, I want to be able to follow it throughout its course in being picked up on different media sites. So that'll be a good thing. This is an awesome tool. Julia, thank you so much for joining us and talking a little bit more about the conversation. We're excited about it, and we really appreciate the support of the CU Anschutz communications team.
Of course, thank you for setting this up. And one more thing to add is you have full control over your article. You will approve it before it publishes, which is a unique opportunity that you don't have all the time. So that's why we really want people to take advantage of this resource.
Great. Thanks. You have a great day. I appreciate it.
You as well.
Bye-bye.